Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand Rising to you, and you. Welcome to another Revolution Sundays with yours truly, Dr. A.G. Green Sr. You know what to do. Tag and share, share and tag. Tag and share. Text. Tag. Share in text or tag. Share in text. Share, tag, and text. Let people know that we're broadcasting live. And I, for one, am glad to be in your presence on this particular day. And despite what the weather may be outside, remember it's only the forecast inside of you that matters the most. Again, Grand Rising to you, and you. What an honor and a privilege it is to connect with you on this particular day. I have some wonderful, wonderful things in terms of teaching that I'm going to share with you. Let's pray. Almighty, we're just so thankful and grateful that you've granted us this time, these moments where we can convene in the spiritual, the physical dimension through technology. We are just thankful and grateful for our connection. We vibe with our tribe. And we just thank you now. We're evolving, we're transforming, we're ascending. That the gospel of consciousness, the message of God in us, with us, and through us, let it from this platform and the others we have travel the globe, even throughout the cosmos. And we bless you and praise you by Yeshua's name, power, consciousness, and way. It is so. And so it is. Good to see you this morning. Our resident therapist, Pastor Jerry Cotton. Thank you for everybody who's here. Tag, share, and text, or tag, text, and share. Tag, text, and share. Tag, text, and share. TTS. Tag, text, and share. Yes, 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 yes. And give as many likes and hearts as you can on Facebook, and a few every now and then on YouTube. I understand the YouTube algorithm works a little different. You can give, it's possible to give too many hearts on that platform from what I'm told. So just make sure you comment and stay engaged throughout the process of this broadcast. I always want you to know what Philippians 4, and I believe it's verse 13, tells us that I came to all things through Christ, through Christos, who strengthens us. Christ's mind, Christ's energy, Christ's power is fused, and it's a part of us. Therefore, I can. Come on, I want you to type it in the comment section. I can. I can. Type that in the comment section. I can. I can. What is it I can do? I can absorb and I can comprehend the teaching, the information that is being propagated and released to me today. I can. I can level up. I can walk in higher dimensions, on higher planes. I can, with my mind, manifest wealth. I can, with my mind, manifest joy and peace. I can, with the inner power that I possess and the authority that God, the Creator, the Source and the Sustainer, the Divine, has given me, live a wonderful, happy, magnificent existence in a world that we create together. Come on. I can. I can. I can. I feel like quitting, but I can't. It seems like it's over, but I can. It seems like everything has ended, but I can restart it. I can. Come on, type it in the comment section. I can, I can, I can, I can, I can. Speak it out loud. Speak it to yourself. I can. What a powerful and wonderful thing it is to know that I can. I want you to embrace that I can. I want you to own that I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You are divine. Your creator is divine. You're the offspring of the creator, the source, and the sustainer. You're not powerless. You're not impotent. You're not helpless. Say it with me. I am powerful. I am powerful. Come on, type it in the comment section. I feel that surging through me right now. I am powerful. There's something about when you own the power. There's something about when you are not ashamed to declare and decree, I am powerful. With the creator's endorsement, with the divine's endorsement, I am powerful. Come on, type it in the comment section. I am powerful. 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 Awesome, awesome, awesome. Can you feel the power? Can you sense the power? Do you know the power? Have you embraced the power? I am powerful. Never back down from that. Never retreat from that. Never withdraw from that. Own it every day of your life. I am powerful. I'm so thankful and grateful to know this power, to get to know it even more and more every day, to embrace it and to walk in it. Don't forget to follow me on the various social media channels that you see listed at the bottom of the screen at AG Green Now. And also make sure, if you have not done it yet, that you go over to Patreon and at least take out a free membership. That's patreon.com/AG Green Now, patreon.com/AG Green Now. And of course, make sure you visit theaggreen.com, theaggreen.com, to empower your spiritual experience. Go to divinespeciesshop.com. That's divinespeciesshop.com, divinespeciesshop.com. And at any point in time throughout the broadcast you sense a leading to give, these are the ways that you can give to me and to this platform and to this cause and to this mission. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, in this moment, I want you to type in the comment section what you are grateful for. This is a moment of gratitude and praise. Type in the comment section right now what you are grateful for. Type it in the comment section what you are grateful for. I am grateful for life, health, strength. I am grateful for love and the love of my life. I am grateful for abundance and prosperity. Tell me now in the comment section at least one thing that you are grateful for. And when you're typing it, feel it. That's it. If you need to speak it, but feel it. When you're typing it, feel it. That's right. Declare it. When you're typing it, see it. When you're typing it, experience it. What a wonderful, powerful, dynamic thing it is to be grateful, to have the attitude of gratitude. As they would say, the spirit of praise. We are just so thankful for so many things that we are enjoying and experiencing right now. Thank you so much for sharing what you are grateful for on today. It is a wonderful, magnificent thing to have an awareness of praise and thanksgiving. Yes, 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 yes. You'll be amazed at how the divine God, the creator, source, and sustainer, the whole universe that you live in, responds to people who are praisers, to people who practice gratitude. You'll be amazed at how things will shift and bend to you just by having a grateful heart and a grateful attitude. You vibrate at different frequencies like that. Everybody's an energy based being. You are always transmitting, and it's just wonderful. It's a great, awesome thing to be able to be grateful and to express that gratitude. Thank you so much. Again, I just want to remind you gently, visit theaggreen.com. That's theaggreen.com to stay updated with what's going on this platform and other platforms. Again, I'm so thankful and grateful to be with you all as always. I pray for you. I meditate concerning your lives. And I really, really want you to know and understand that your presence here and your support, even financially, means so much to me. All right? We're going to prepare to get into some teaching here in just a few minutes, but I got to check in on you. What are you eating and sipping? And if you haven't gotten your I Am Powerful cup, go to the divinespeciesshop.com and order it right now in your mug. This is a 15-ounce mug right here, and I personally love it. But what are you eating and sipping on right now? And tell me, while you're eating and sipping, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? I'm feeling pretty good. I don't mind admitting I'm in the fifth, or I think it's the fifth day of a liquid fast. And I was telling my love earlier this morning that I may not even go back to eating. No, I'm going back to eating. I feel good, and I'm grateful, and I am on it for spiritual, mental, and physical reasons. So nevertheless, I am grateful. Let's see. Our resident mystic Wesley Turk says, drinking sugar-free Kool-Aid. Watch out now. Yes, sir. That's good stuff. Sugar-free. See, sipping on some water, trying to figure out breakfast. Feeling grateful. Wonderful. Krista says, Cafe Bustelo coffee. Ooh, isn't that fancy? With French vanilla creamer. Feeling good. All right. And Linda says, drinking apple juice and feeling great. Thank you so much for sharing what you're eating and sipping on and how you're feeling in the moment. I'm so appreciative. Let's see here. Our resident therapist, Pastor Cotton, says, banana and some ginger, lemon water, and apple cider vinegar. I feel expecting and peaceful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Thank you, 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 thank you so much. All right. Grand rising to you as well. Right on time. I got to see Brenda in person yesterday. Brenda attends the it's a church, it's a conclave, it's a spiritual community. That's a better word. Brenda attends a spiritual community that's led and guided by my friend, who's an awesome mystic named Anthony Williams, Apostle Anthony Williams, who lives in a transcendent space. And he had an anniversary there. And I was able to go and share with them on yesterday because they are a tribe that I vibe with. My nieces in Austin accompanied me as well, and we had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. And I got to admit, it felt good hearing people say at the end, I am powerful in person. That was an awesome experience being with them on yesterday. And Brenda is a part of that tribe. She is a part of that spiritual community. And as I questioned them on yesterday, she is a part of Zion. And we talked about the kingdom or the matrix on yesterday, the kingdom or the matrix. And of course, Zion in the movie Matrix is the city where ultimate reality is, uh, that represents so many different things symbolically for us. And so, yes, we need more Zions in our states, in our world. And so we're so thankful and grateful. Yes, hearing it in person is empowering, and I look forward to the day where we do some small gatherings in a particular city and I do this teaching in person and other things, and we are collectively there together. All right? Absolutely, absolutely. All right, let me get into some teaching today. Uh, I want to continue to deal with a certain subject that I have been discussing for a few weeks now as a result of the blog that I have written, and a matter of fact, about reality, shifting reality. There will be a new entry this week. I've been trying to just delay because there's so much information packed in each article, and I come online and I do pretty much just surface teaching, surface teaching as it relates to um, the articles that I've written because there's so much depth and so much meat attached to them. And so I was advised by some brethren to, as it relates to how vast, uh, powerful, and extensive the subject matter is, to take my time on these subjects. And so I've been trying to do that, but I realize when you start getting into science and different things like that, uh, that you really should slow down to tie these things in, make sure that people can comprehend it and are having a wonderful, comprehensible experience. So I'm going to continue where I left off. Let's see here. Proverbs 23:7a. I want my assistants to put that text up for us because we'll still be working from that. Proverbs 23:7a. I'm trying to see if there's anything else uh, that I need to announce before I get into the teaching. All right. Thank you. It means a lot when you apply what you have been taught. My desire is to always give you uh, teaching that is applicable. It's digestible and it's applicable. It's something that you can put to work in your life and start seeing results when you put it to work. And so I don't just ever want to discuss something without giving you some kind of steps or some kind of advice, actionable steps. That's it, actionable advice. Now, uh, there we go in King James, and hopefully the NIV will be up here shortly. It's coming behind that. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart it's not with thee. And for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. All right. Almighty, I just thank you for your guidance and your direction and for the explosion of transformation, the explosion of elevation, the explosion of evolution within all of us who are connected to this infinite consciousness. This word is downloaded, it's operating and resonating in us, and we are applying it to change our world. And we bless you by Yeshua's name, his power, his way, his consciousness. It is so, and so it is. Um, I had an interesting comment. It was a friendly comment on one of my YouTube videos a week or two ago. And I put a clip out there about the comparisons of quantum physics to Mark 9 23. And the gentleman who came by and left the comment on the video was basically saying he thought that I was trying to somehow connect science to religion. And I had to explain to him, no, I wasn't, because the religious definition of faith has conditions attached to it. In my response, he understood. There's a difference between religious faith and faith in the realm or the spiritual community, pure spirituality. And he said, this is Transformation of Tunnels Part 2. Okay, thank you so much. This is the subject. This is the subject today, because I've been forgetting to just attach subjects lately. Thank you so much, sir. Uh, I'm teaching these principles because I want you to know they're not religious. They're spiritual. They're not the same thing. Yes, there are some religious principles that are spiritual because they have not attached anything to the spiritual principle in its original form. So in that case, a religion can have spiritual principles, but in many cases, religion has hijacked spirituality and spiritual principles and added conditions to it that makes it religious. Because from a purely spiritual perspective, there are no conditions attached to it except, of course, to, I should paraphrase that. There are conditions, but not religious conditions. I'm going to say it again. And there are conditions, not religious conditions. And these conditions are not based on right and wrong. This is what bothers some people, I know, when I say it, but it's the truth is just the truth. You came into this dimension powerful, even though it's a simulation, even though it's a construct, even though it's considered to be lower level, even though this planet is among millions, and this version of our existence, I believe, is among millions. Nevertheless, you are still powerful. And I'm going to be bringing, eventually, he doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to bring one of my friends, Apostle Anthony Williams, whose church I went at yesterday, and he loves to discuss the Anunnaki or the Anunnaki influence on scripture and text, and Inkian and Lil, and how Genesis has been transplanted from another book, which the Enuma Elish, which some of you know that, and how the species has been altered. And I do believe in many of those in the conceptual framework around that. But ultimately, there is a prime creator. There is a prime source that I believe is mentioned at times in the biblical text. And at other times, of course, in other texts. And then last but not least, is revealed to you individually. You are having conversations many times, not just with your higher self or the high part of you that is spiritual, but sometimes with the divine source, creator, and sustainer. So I'm saying all that to say I'm having these discussions with you because the lenses we have looked through, um, religious colored lenses. Religious colored lenses. I want you to type that in the comment section. Religious colored lenses. Religious hyphenated colored lenses. Religious hyphenated colored lenses. I want you to type that in the comment section. Religious colored lenses. So I'm working on the like a PowerPoint presentation for you. I didn't get it finished. I'm going to go back for a few minutes today in our time together as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. That is an accurate description of the fact that we are literally manifesting what we think, and we are showing up in the world based on what we think, which, of course, is a belief system. I, again, like to share scientific discovery and scientific information because I want you to understand, family. I need you to hear me real clearly that you're interpreting what I'm saying through a reality tunnel. And if your reality tunnel has been heavily influenced by religion, you think that religion is the primary source of your truth. Not understanding, and I'm going to explain it a little bit more, that you are filtering out truth based on the reality tunnel that you live in. Your reality tunnel does not know about certain or said truths. And what ends up happening is you filter it out even when you hear truth because your reality revolves around a core belief that you've been conditioned to accept and to know. And that is why you try and interpret everything that's said through that reality tunnel, which means that when you do that, family, if you're not open to new information, you're going to just filter out or exclude even the scientific factual stuff. Did you hear me? You're going to exclude the scientific factual stuff. It's like you can be having these conversations with religious people and showing them the facts, and you can see the wheels turning of how they're trying to interpret it through a religious lens. They're trying to interpret it through Christianity or Islam or Hinduism or Buddhism, whatever. They're trying to interpret it through that lens. And as a result of that, they exclude or leave out some things. They miss the prime truth. For example, the prime truth that I'm speaking to you is, for example, I did an interesting search within the last couple of weeks using Chat GPT 4.0. And I asked Chat GPT, what was the oldest religion? Now, let me show you what Chat GPT knows, what the consensus of people who live in reality tunnels don't know. Watch this. So it listed religions. It listed a set of religions from its database that it thought were the oldest, right? Then I asked it another question. And you know, want to know what I asked the next question? Matter of fact, I think religion only went back, I'm trying to think, 10,000 years that it listed in its listing. I think it was like 10,000 years, 15,000 years, something like that. It didn't go back as far as I thought it would go back. So guess what? I then asked the question, how old is African spirituality? And then it came back with an answer 100,000 to 200,000 years old. Now, the reason I'm using this as an example is because there are things that predate your religious colored lenses. There are things that predate your religion. And again, when you're looking through a reality tunnel and a cognitive bias, and I'm going to do some more specific teaching on cognitive bias, I've just touched on it. Just like today, I'm doing more specific teaching on the reality bias and reality tunnels, excuse me, and what they are. When you start talking to people about this kind of stuff, they exclude it. It makes them uncomfortable. Something in their nervous system starts moving. Sometimes they become defensive or resistant, or there are other times they just go blank on you. You know why they go blank? Because it is not incorporated within their reality tunnel and their cognitive bias to factor this in the equation of God, of the divine, of spirituality, of who and what we are and how we connect to it. It is not in their reality tunnel. It is not in their cognitive bias. Yes, and our resident mystic is right. They will demonize it. And let me tell you, the reason why they will demonize it is because their reality tunnel and cognitive bias, which is rooted in a religious conceptual framework, demonizes it. The facts are the facts. The truth is the truth. I share these principles with you because I know you could never really step into the ultimate prime version of you until you shed some of this old religious skin, until you shed some of this old religious weight. You will never ascend or never know the greatest version of you. And you can know a greater version, just not the greatest version, because the greatest version of you can never be discovered in any particular religion. It can only be discovered through the access or the doorway of understanding what spirituality is. So, reality tunnel. It's a term that I shared with you that started in the 1970s by Robert Anton Wilson. He introduced the concept of it. He says every reality is a reality tunnel, a conditioned, learned way of perceiving, interpreting, and acting on reality. Change the tunnel and you change your reality. End quote from Prometheus Rising. So, a reality tunnel is your private, personalized version of the universe. Four basic things that make or compose a reality tunnel. And I know my assistants and our resident therapists will put it up. We'll type it in and I will put it up on the screen. The first one, and I've covered these before, and I'm getting ready to give you some examples now, some better examples today. But the first one, number one, is beliefs. Beliefs. Beliefs, what you assume is true. So, number one, beliefs, what you assume is true. Beliefs, what you assume is true. I have shared scientific information and I will continue to share scientific information that helps you to understand that even right now, while I am talking to you, family, your brain has already made decisions before I finish speaking. Watch this, based on the knowledge base and experience that it has. It's already making decisions right now for you without your conscious mind knowing it. It's happening subconsciously in the front part of your brain. It is determining right now what is real and what not real for you. What is reality and what is not reality for you. And again, somehow, some way along the way, you and I were handed some beliefs and we embraced these beliefs. Then we lived our own lives and developed our own experiences. And from these experiences, we used our intellect to say this is true, or this is false. And what we did was imprinted an emotion on it, attached an emotion on it. I want you to understand that memories are always encoded with emotions. Type that in the comment section. Memories are always encoded with emotions. Type that in the comment section. Memories are always encoded with emotions. Mhm. Memories are always encoded. That's chemically, that's how they're able to be stored and recalled. Have you noticed that whether it's a bitter memory or a good memory, whenever you remember it, there's a feeling that is released in your body when you remember it. For for the psyche, for the human body, this says this is real to us. So the world is driven by beliefs, and the reality that we are a part of exists because of beliefs and no other reason. Our beliefs right now are on display, and your beliefs are encoded so deeply into your brain that it will decide for you before you're able to even analyze information to discern or decipher for yourself whether it is true or false. This is why there's a challenge for people to change. The challenge for people to change, and remember, I gave you that quotation from the scientists and showed you this about 3 weeks ago now, 3 or 4 weeks ago now, how the front part of your brain made decisions less than a second before the senses could inform it what it was actually, looking at or touching or tasting or smelling. The brain had already decided what it was. This is happening to us every day. And it's why it's difficult to decode and deprogram, because you feel so strongly about that. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? You feel so strongly about that. Let that just resonate. Let that circulate in your heart. You feel so strongly about that. And again, remember, emotions, we talk about thoughts generating emotions or emotions triggering thoughts. What we really should say in a physiological sense is the chemical reactions in your body cause us to feel the way we feel. So again, when we feel something, it could be wrong, as the old folks say, as two left shoes. But we think, oh, this got to be God talking to me now because I feel this. Oh, I know this is the truth because I just feel it. Have you ever felt something about a situation and in that moment you judged based on what you felt? And it was revealed to you later that this situation was not even like what you thought and felt, or this person was not even like what you thought and felt. And then you felt kind of crazy, or you felt ignorant, you felt stupid because you realized it was just you thinking and feeling that. That's how powerful emotions are. Emotions. So when we have these thoughts and when we have these emotions, family, this is how it gets encoded with the memory and stored in the brain. And when it's recalled, family, and it could be your experience or your interpretation of somebody else's experience, it comes back with the same flood of emotions. And that same flood of emotions to your body is saying, oh yeah, yeah, this is definitely, yeah, this is definitely real here. And in the moment, it is real to you. So a transparent moment, one of the reasons why I went on this extended liquid fast, I was led by the divine, by the spirit to do it, for spiritual, mental, and physical reasons. And on the physical side, one of the reasons why is because I realized that my body for decades has been living in a default setting of misery. And as evolved as I am, there are some thoughts that trigger a darkness that manifest in my body. And Dr. Joseph Dispenza, and I do some more extensive teaching on it, talked about, he's a scientist, how the body starts acting like the brain. I understood from my higher self, from my spiritual man, as we say, that these feelings that I'm having that's taking me to a dark place, whether it be thinking about money or thinking about disrespect or whatever it is that triggered my thinking, took me immediately, that chemical release. I didn't even have a chance to be analytical from the brain standpoint, is what he's describing. Your body will immediately shift to that state. And before you know it, you're in the basement emotionally. Well, I had known about this concept, this truth. That I've been reading on it recently, and the spirit was like, I want you to go through this. Yes, I have some weight loss goals. I'm dropping pounds. And I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm not coming off till 20 pounds is gone. But there's some mental, psychological realignment with the spirit. And there's some retraining of the body that was necessary to purge this stuff out of my system. And again, exacting mastery and control over it, number one. Number two, replacing that dark feeling that comes with these thoughts with a positive one is how you retrain and re-encode it. Am I making any sense to anybody? Am I getting any likes and hearts on Facebook? Let me go there. Let me double check. Let me check on y'all. Make sure y'all, you know, putting them likes and hearts in. So I want you, as we are discussing reality tunnels, to really have an understanding, family. An understanding. Yes, the heart definitely can amplify any emotion. I want you to have an understanding that beliefs are contributing to what you know as reality. Beliefs are responsible, family. Beliefs are responsible for what you know as reality. I want you to type that in the comment section. Beliefs are responsible for what I know as reality. Beliefs are responsible for what I know as reality. And yes, I am learning to replace, recode, restructure, and reboot. It's necessary. I'm still a work in progress like y'all. Beliefs are responsible for what I know as reality. Now, this is a powerful, liberating concept. Again, because you think reality is created from someone else or an omnipotent being, when in essence, you right now. You decided to log on. Guess what you were doing? You were creating reality. You decided to watch the broadcast for whatever length of time you're watching it. Guess what you're doing? You're creating reality. While you're eating, whatever you're doing, excuse me, while you're watching, if it's eating, if it's relaxing, if it's reposing, if it's having a conversation with somebody else, if it's texting on your phone, you are creating that reality. And the decisions you make today are based on beliefs. And you are going to be, based on those beliefs, creating your reality. So, number one is beliefs, what you assume is true. And I want to grasp the powerful concept. Belief is assumption. We'll say it again. Belief is also assumption. The reason why I believe that we also at times call faith is assumptive. It's powerful because it is assumptive. But when we have beliefs in realities that we create that don't really exist in the prime reality, then that's a problem. Because then I am literally making something that did not exist before. And I am making something, watch this, that only exists in me, within me, that does not exist within others outside of me. I hope I said that in a way that you could understand it. So this is why it is powerful. This is why it is necessary, family, that we have the right or correct beliefs. Because if I'm believing the wrong thing, then I'm creating a reality in my own heart with an emotion attached to it that is existing in my experience to me as something that is as real as anything else. Are you catching that? This is a key critical component in the reality tunnel. And again, let me say this and I'm going to move on to number two. We filter out and exclude stuff, family, that's not in our reality tunnel. It's like you hear it, but you don't hear it. Many times you hear it, but you don't allow it to plant a seed. You don't allow it to take root. You don't allow it to influence you, to transform you. You hear it and discard it. And then there are some things, family, you don't even hear. A person said it, a person demonstrated it, a person showed you, you didn't hear it, you didn't see it. Because your brain filtered it out automatically. Because according to your brain, that's just not truth. That's just not, no, this situation is not capable of being that. This situation cannot be that. There's no way it is possible for this situation to exist. Number two is emotion, your habitual feelings. Number two is emotions, your habitual feelings. So put up number two for me. Your emotions, your habitual feelings. And I just kind of talked about emotions. And let me say, what's going on here? Okay, blank that for a minute. Let me say this to you. Again, emotions highlight what we believe is real. Catch me when I say this. I'm going to say it again. Emotions, what we believe is real. Emotion for the body is a powerful way of saying, oh no, definitely. There are people there who have incorrect notions, watch this, about God, the divine source, creator, and sustainer. And because they've had, listen to me, some successful experiences doing certain things a certain way, the creator worked it for you. It's what's causing a person to have a difficult time parting ways with something because, as far as they are concerned, there is no way it cannot be true because I felt this when I had this last experience. So it's got to be nothing but the truth because this is how I felt. And because I felt this way, this has to be the way it is. Watch this, all the time. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Emotions are a powerful thing. They are habitual feelings. Hear me. These habitual feelings over time, they become a part of what you know as personality. These habitual feelings. Hear me. If you're in a mood too long, that mood transitions over an extended period of time uh, to start becoming infused in your personality. Now, your persona, this becomes a persona, family, to operate or to be triggered emotionally when you encounter a certain situation. It's literally encoded into your brain now. And for you, it's reality because you feel that it is reality. Habitual feelings. Over time, you feel the same way, the same emotions, the same anger, the same results from pain, the same negativity, the same pessimism, okay? The same madness, the same sadness, over and over and over and over and over again until it now becomes infused in your personality. And if situations show up in your construct, or as you are living in this construct and living in this world, and you start encountering things, hear me again, that the brain recognizes as something that you quote unquote failed at, or something that quote unquote hurt you before, or something that quote unquote did not work out for you before, or something that quote unquote betrayed you before, or something that quote unquote blessed you, or something that quote unquote assisted you, or something that quote unquote helped you, then the habitual feeling of that's negative or positive, family, is going to surface. It's going to be felt, and it's going to be known. This, again, is a part of the reality tunnel, that we are experiencing the same emotions, negative or positive, that's based on certain situations that we've experienced, which leads us to number three, memories or your interpretations of the past. Type that in the comment section, memories your interpretations of the past. And I'm about to get into, in the next few minutes, some more specific reality tunnels. I'm getting into it. Memories, your interpretations of the past. That's number three. That's number three. Memories, your interpretation of the past. Memories, your interpretation of the past. Now, this is, again, I've already touched on this, but the reason why it is difficult for people to have new experiences is because of memories. Yes, I said that. I'm going to say it again. The reason why it is difficult for you and I many times to have new experiences is because of memories. Okay, let me give you an example. So, if in what we call the past that no longer exists, we decided that we were going to be disciplined and focused and use our faith to bring things into our world or bring things into existence, and we did not get the results we desired over 30 days, 60 days, 6 months, 6 years. That's stored in a memory, and it's going to be stored in a memory with an emotion, a negative emotion of sadness, a negative emotion that's attached to disappointment, a negative emotion that's attached to frustration. When a new discussion comes up about that with certain people, about faith and manifesting and trusting and believing, and you can do all these things yourself, guess what's going to tell you it's not true? Guess what's going to bring resistance? Guess what's going to challenge that in you? The memory of what you believe was a failed attempt in your faith X amount of years ago. It does that with faith, it does that with money, it does that with relationships, it does that with self-love or self-hate. It all, your decisions and my decisions, are influenced by what's in our memory bank. We, watch this, we're not always accurately analyzing present now situations, because the memory, which represents the past, is constantly trying to tell us that even what you see today it's not new. It's the same thing to you. Come on, family. I need you to grasp this. I need you to hear what I'm saying today. This is why people get stuck. If it's in your memory that something is wrong or feels wrong, something new will present itself that can be totally the opposite in a prime reality. But your memory will tell you, nope, this walks like a duck. It talks like walks like a duck. It's talking like a duck. It's definitely not a mongoose. It's a duck. When in reality, it's not the same, but your memories are telling you it is the same. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. This is why we forego certain opportunities. This is why we forego certain doors. I tried this last time. Your memory said you're a failure. Watch this. Your memory said you're not this, you're not that. So when another opportunity presents itself, your memory will say to you, oh, this is not really an opportunity for us because we failed at this last time. And when we do these things, we just fail. When we do these things, we just fall on our face, flat on our face. Oh, yeah. When we do these things, it does not work out for us like it works out for other people. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. And guess what it will do? It will stop us in our tracks. If it does not stop us in our tracks, it lives there subconsciously. And we will try stuff in terms of the now, but that part of us will be sabotaging what we try because it would say we just don't have good results with this kind of stuff. We just don't have good results. And since we don't have good results, watch this. You'll be coming on here and saying, pray for me, agree with me, and that this happened for me and that happened for me. And then when it doesn't happen, you're saying it don't work. Well, it didn't work because you didn't allow it to work. You didn't create a situation where you knew that it was already done because your memory told you that you got bad experiences, a bad track record with this kind of stuff. So no, It works out for other people, but it doesn't get to work out for you. That is a part of the reality tunnel. Memories. We're all impacted by memories. And then last but not least, values what you think matters. Type that in the comment section. Values what you think matters. Values, that's number 4. Values what you think matters. That's number 4. Wow. As you evolve, transform, and ascend, you will gain more clarity as it relates to values. And the reason why you will gain more clarity as it relates to values, because many of our values are sense related, or we receive these values. And when I get into reality tunnel specifics in a few minutes, I'm gonna give you like 5 or 6 different models, which so you can have a specific example. They are based on culture, they are based on the senses, they are based on the intellect, they are based on the world you live in. Many times this is where we get our values from, good, bad, or otherwise. So in your reality tunnel, the things that mean the most to you are the things you decided meant the most to you. This is another thing I've discovered. As you grow up spiritually, I say grow up, I mean go up. As you're elevated spiritually, family, your values are going to change. Your values are going to change. Am I making any sense? For example, you should never value as it relates to choosing your partner. Catch what I'm saying, fam. I'm getting ready to show you some, I'm getting ready to give you a little nugget, and then I'm going to some specific uh, reality tunnel models or specific reality tunnel situations. I think I got 5 or 6 I'm going to share with you before we get done today. You are taught in this world because we this world evolves around value and worth from a persona carnal created perspective by us. So it's all about what's valuable. And in our case, it's monetary, it's money, it's currency. And you see a lot of these videos pop up on social media. Now, don't get me wrong. Y'all know me. I believe that you can manifest anything you want to, good, bad, or otherwise. I honestly believe that. But I see skewed values, and a lot of times I'm hearing young ladies and young men who are doing a great job of discussing, attacking, and dissolving these values as being erroneous. And one example is about money. Now, money is going to be a factor if you're entering into a romantic space with somebody, but it should not be the main factor. But we've got some egotistical, vain people who have a materialistic point of view. And so they will say, I'm not going to date a man that don't make over $100,000. Remember, I believe you can manifest anything you want to. But the facts say that there's only a small percentage of men, especially men of African descent, that make over 6 figures. Hear me. But my question to you is, why would you value materialism over immaterial, like money, the immaterial like money? Why would you value currency over love, attention, honor, respect, loyalty? The man and woman that has the money might not have the integrity. They might not have loyalty. They might not have commitment. They might not have a faith in you and a belief in you. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? But for certain people, they have developed that, oh, this is valuable. This has got to be, this is a part of my values. If he don't have this or if she don't have that, no. Well, my point is you're going to continue because you don't really know how to manifest that. You're just throwing it out there. You're going to continue to manifest situations where the people you bring into your life might have that thing, but they're going to lack 15 other things that's going to make you miserable. I wish I had more likes and hearts. I'm looking at my phone. Are y'all listening? You can listen and still give a brother some likes and hearts. Am I making any sense thus far to anybody? It's a value. It's a value. And you got to ask yourself the question, is it the right value I should really have for myself, though? Shouldn't I have more values that are more connected to love and joy and peace and the divine? Shouldn't I have more of a value of love? Shouldn't I have more of a value of equal treatment? Shouldn't I have more of a value of respect and being respected? Catch that. Am I making any sense to anybody? It's just like some people have certain values in terms of physical expectations. Again, you can have whatever you want to have, family, but it's like your values are part of your reality tunnel and excludes a demographic of people who would be the best partner or lover or friend you ever had, but your values are as such that they are discarded. They're not even in the picture. Values. Am I making any sense to anybody? Y'all kind of quiet right now. So now let me move into the last few minutes of this presentation today. Some specific reality tunnel examples. Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? Tell me if you're ready for this, because it starts out hot. The first one starts out hot. Are y'all ready for this? Because I'm getting ready to give you some more specific examples of what a reality tunnel is. As you think it's in his heart, so is he. Everybody is again in this reality tunnel. Okay, here we go. The first one, and I know my sisters are going to record it for me. The first example is a religious tunnel. I want you to type the word religious tunnel. Number one, the religious tunnel says only our faith has the truth. Only our faith has the truth. Oh my goodness. Only our faith has the truth. So religious tunnel, that's number one. Only our faith has the truth. That's a religious tunnel. In other words, my religion is the one true path to God. All other things are wrong, misled, or dangerous. Again, only thing I want you to do is to think. What was happening before there was a religion and there was only spirituality? What was happening then? A religious tunnel filters out spiritual truths in other traditions. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. Don't bring it up to me. Don't say it to me. If it ain't about Jesus, or if it's not about Allah, or if it's not about this, that, I don't want to hear it. It filters out spiritual truths in other traditions. It sees non-believers as lost, immoral, or enemies of truth. In many respects, even when folks are saying, ooh, he's a God of love and he forgives and he'll do this or do that or the other, in their hearts and minds, they're sizing you up and say, if you don't get right, you're on your way to hell. If you don't come to this side, you've been abandoned and forsaken. I just had a man tell me the other day, now you tell me what kind of God, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. What kind of God does this? I was told a situation recently of how a man went up for prayer in the church he attended. He has cancer. And the pastor, before he prayed for him, said, let me tell you what I'm seeing right now. Yes, God has allowed you to have this cancer because we've been I checked the docket recently, the record, and they tell me it's been 4 months since you gave anything. This is why you got this cancer. You need to start giving. And the pastor, whom I know of, I'm sure he was just as serious as I'll get up when he said it. Can I ask y'all a question? Who would want to serve a God that lets you have cancer because you missed giving in the offering plate? I'm in that reality tunnel that these folks live in. If you don't follow certain rules, you're cursed. In that reality tunnel these folks live in. If you don't do it exactly the way they say their scripture says do it, you're not blessed. You're an outcast. And they'll be standing there looking at you and smiling at you and saying to themselves, even if they love you, I just wish they would get it together because they're enemies of God right now. He loved them, but they don't really love him. And if something happened to them, it's going to be a tragic. They're just going to be lost. That's a reality tunnel. Reality tunnel also the effects, and these are effects of the reality tunnel, interprets suffering as divine punishment or a test. Y'all know me. I come from that world. I got 5 academic degrees. 3 of them, was it 3 or 4 of them are in theological disciplines. This stuff is real. People honestly interpret the written text and believe that they are suffering because God wants them to suffer. And it's like, I'm just going to be honest, it's like this schizophrenic bipolar God. Seriously, he loves me one minute, but he will kill me the next minute. He will just destroy me if I don't make it to church, if I miss a couple of services, if I don't give them tithes and offering. It's over with for me. Listen, that's a reality tunnel. This may be hard for some of y'all to hear. It's hard for some of y'all to swallow. Hard for some of y'all to understand that certain depictions you see in the text are not the real God. It's something else. I say from a purely logical standpoint, why would an omnipotent God be insecure or jealous? Why would a being that supposedly has everything it could ever need self-contained within itself? It's a self-regenerating, self-contained, omnipotent being. Why is it so petty? Why is that God so petty? Seriously, ask yourself the question. It's a religious tunnel, and you filter out everything else. So we got folk out here who poor. They think they poor because they quote unquote sinning. They did the wrong thing last night. We got folk out here who feels their families are broken up because they weren't in somebody's church and they weren't reading the word. We got people out here who feel like they're not being blessed because God don't want them to be blessed because they hadn't acted right in 10 years. We got folk out here who say, nope, the reason why I didn't get that raise is because I did not give glory to God. This is another thing. I'm just going to use the word piss. It does piss me off that you honestly think an omnipotent creator needs your praise to feel good about itself. And if it does not get your praise, it will cut you off, cut you to the knees, not only hit you or curse you and cut you or to cut your whole family. And somehow you prayed and you heard a voice say, the reason this is happening is because you didn't give God the glory for this. What kind of God who's supposed to know everything and not really need anything is sitting around on the edge of a throne saying, they better praise me today. They better give me something today. They better show me some love today. Hear me. Does that really make sense to you? Okay. That's a reality tunnel. That's a reality tunnel. Thich Nhat Hanh says each religion is a finger pointing to the same moon. End quote. Here we go. Racial tunnel. We're all treated equally now. That's a racial tunnel. We're all treated equally now. Let me hit that. Number 2, racial tunnel. We're all treated equally now. Racial tunnel. That's number 2. This is my second example of reality tunnels. It's a racial tunnel. We're all, in other words, there's a racial tunnel that says we're all treated equally now. Here's the belief. The belief is racism was a thing of the past. Today, everyone has the same opportunities. And here are the effects of that tunnel. These people deny lived experiences of discrimination. There are some people, watch this, who are considered to be minorities. I don't really like it, but it's a term. Of the same hue and shade and sometimes darker than me, out here talking about, oh, everything's equal now. Hear me again. I believe you can manifest anything you want. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you focused on discrimination. But we got folk out here who act like it don't even exist. That's a reality tunnel. And the effect of that is they deny your experience. Well, you probably didn't get the job, Bob, because you weren't qualified. Well, we had two people of another persuasion, of a Caucasian persuasion, who had less experience in education than you, and one of them got hired, but you didn't get hired. They're interpreting everything through that tunnel. The other effect is it justifies equality as the fault of the individual, inequality, excuse me, as the fault of the individual. I'm just giving you some examples of a reality tunnel. Inequality has been proven statistically to be systemically hardwired into our system, especially our justice system. But they still will exclude that in their reality tunnel. They will filter that out in their reality tunnel. Because as far as they're concerned, for whatever reasons they have, they don't want to believe that racism still exists. And then the next effect is they overlook systemic racism. They overlook redlining. They overlook the lack of school funding. They overlook incarceration rates. It's plain, as some folk would say, as the nose on your face, but their reality tunnel will not allow them to acknowledge it. Here's a quote. When you're accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression, end quote. That is so powerful. Anonymous source. When you're accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression. Ooh, my. Are y'all ready for my third example of what a reality tunnel is? The third reality tunnel I'm going to give you an example of is the gender tunnel. Men shouldn't show emotion. It's the gender tunnel. Men shouldn't show emotion. That's the number 3 example I'm giving today. Gender tunnel. Number 3, gender tunnel. Men shouldn't show emotion. Wow. Here we go. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? The belief is real men don't cry, show vulnerability, or talk about their feelings. That is the belief in this reality tunnel. Hear me, family. And here is the effect. Here is the tunnel effects. Here's the tunnel effects. It suppresses emotional intelligence in boys and men. Listen, if you're raising a boy, he's going to eventually become a man. And if you're telling him, stop crying and man up, you're sending a message to him then he's not really strong as a boy and he can't be a strong man if he cries. You're teaching him how to turn off his emotions. You're teaching him not to be connected to the emotional experience in his own life. And you're ultimately teaching him not to be sensitive, women, if you're saying this to your sons, and men, if you're saying this to your sons. You're teaching him ultimately not to be sensitive to you as a parent and be sensitive in any sense of a romantic relationship with his partner. He's going to learn how to not be vulnerable. He's going to learn how to suppress his emotions. And more importantly, he's going to learn how to turn that sadness, that pain, that anger, that frustration inside and allow it to just eat up his organs and die of a heart attack or a stroke. Lord have mercy, I just said that. Another effect is increases mental health struggles, substance abuse, and suicide. Do you realize that men have the highest suicide rates in the whole country? And it's one of the reasons why is because we teach that men are weak. We teach that men should not cry. We teach that men that even when they struggle, they should not own their own struggles. This is why there are so many men who have mental health challenges today. This is why men have problems crying before their families. They have problems crying before their spouses or their loved ones or their partners. This is why they have a problem being as soft as they ought to be. And some people have mastered being soft with other people, but hard on themselves. They're good with other people. I was one of those men. I love women. I'm going to treat you like a queen. But when it comes to me, I'm going to try and suck it up and not show any emotion unless it's just necessary. I can't hold it back. And then when I get in private, I'm going to regret that I was vulnerable and emotional like that, because I was raised up in a society that said, and raised up in a society with good men who treated their wives well. But as it related to treating myself, I didn't know how to do that emotionally. It encourages toxic masculinity and disconnection. Wow. I'm going to say it again. It encourages toxic masculinity and disconnection. I'm going to say this to every woman that's watching me right now, whether you are booed up or not. Whether you're booed up or not. Do not look that man in the face and tell him, act like a man. I need you to have some backbone. Stop that crying. Why you? Don't do that. Don't do that. Because somebody else is going to hear his cries. I need you to hear what I'm saying. Do not put that crap in your boys. Yes, we don't want people to be sloppy and they can't function. That's not what we're talking about. They need to have an outlet. It's going to turn into some form of mental illness or some form of masculine toxicity. I got a 10-year-old. I never tell him not to cry. Yeah, there are some situations he's irked me when he's cried when he was younger. Even now, he was just crying about something the other day, whining about. I did tell him to stop whining, but I don't tell him not to cry. I want him to understand that this is an appropriate emotional response if you're sad, if you're down, whatever. And then I'm going to turn around and teach him how to navigate through that. But by no means do I want him to think he's not masculine or a man, or he's not strong if he cries or weeps. This is a personality tunnel that a lot of people in this country live in right now. And let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. This might be stepping on some toes. If there's any woman that a man should be crying in front of, other than his mother, or maybe an aunt or somebody, when you get married or in a relationship, he ought to be able to cry in front of you, girlfriend, fiance, wife. He ought to be able to melt in your hands without judgment. Even if you disagree with why he's crying, he ought to be able to do it in front of you. Because the alternative is Shaquita or Loquita or Sally or Jane somewhere else is going to show more emotional intelligence and allow him to be vulnerable. And that vulnerability can lead to other stuff happening. Do not look at your man strange because he broke down. Do not look at your man strange because he's showing vulnerability. Help him to overcome this gender tunnel. I want you to hear what I'm saying today, because men are taught more in their youth that there are certain things you can't do and certain ways you can't behave in terms of expressing your emotions. That's why women are much better with this kind of stuff than men are. It's because we don't allow men to do it. Okay, let me get to the next thing. Here's another quote. You can't heal what you don't feel. End quote, John Bradshaw. Toxicity is going to rise if you don't allow yourself to feel what you need to heal from. You don't want an unavailable emotional man. And watch this. I'm not even talking about unavailable to you, because again, there are some men who've learned how to be available for their spouses. They don't know how to be available for themselves. I'm going to say it again. There are certain men who know how to be available for other people, family and friends. They just don't know how to be available for themselves. They have to be allowed to feel it, just like We all have to be allowed to feel it before we can heal it. Did you catch that? Powerful. Wonderful quote. You can't heal what you don't feel. Number 4, and I'm almost done, the political tunnel. Let me see. Let me see. I got 5. Let me see if I want to do another example here. Type the political. No, I don't. I don't want to do the political tunnel. Let's see here. Type the capitalistic tunnel. Your value equals your productivity. That's the last one I'm going to do. Capitalist tunnel. Your value equals your productivity. And you know what? I kind of need to get a little bit deeper with that one right quick. Here's the belief: if you're not constantly achieving, producing, or climbing the ladder, you're wasting your life. Mm, mm, mm. The capitalist tunnel. Your value equals your productivity. Somebody putting that up for me on the screen. Type it in so I can put it up. And this is my last one. The capitalist tunnel. Your value equals your productivity. Wow. The belief is if you're not constantly achieving, producing, or climbing the ladder, you're wasting your time. How many people on here, you need to be honest with me right now who are watching me. How many people have fallen prey to the belief of the capitalist reality tunnel? Meaning that you tie your self-worth to busyness and output. You tie your self-worth to busyness and output. That's an effect. You're tying your self-worth to busyness, and output. In other words, if I'm not doing something to make me money, if I'm not doing something to put more in my account, something's wrong with me. If I'm not doing something in terms of work, if I'm not busy putting other things in place to bring more income in, I'm slipping, I'm sliding, I'm not being the best me that I could be. How many have experienced this capitalist reality tunnel before? I want you to be honest. I'm going to tell you I have, and I still struggle with it. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else has experienced it? Another effect is, watch this. In this reality tunnel, you become ashamed, shames, this reality tunnel, I'm paraphrasing it, shames, rest, play, art, and healing. It shames, rest, play, art, and healing. In other words, if people are resting, if people are playing, if people are doing something that is not considered to be work, you're looked at like there's something wrong with you. You feel lazy because you know the society looks at you like you're lazy. If you're relaxing, how many of y'all have felt guilty? Listen to this, catch this. How many of y'all have worked 40 hours a week on your job? Some of y'all 50 hours a week. Or you put your time in all week on your job. Some of y'all working 2 jobs. And the minute you sat down to watch TV, or the minute you sat down to play with your kids, or the minute you sat down to get on the computer and just, surf the internet, or the minute you sat down to do a recreational thing, within 15, 20 minutes, you felt strange and weird. Like this is not what you should be doing. Like you ought to be up doing something else. Talk back to me in the comment section. I want to hear from you. That is the capitalist reality tunnel. It says you got to be doing something that generates what is considered to be monetary gain or productivity or moving the needle. And if you aren't doing these things, you ought to be ashamed of it. Catch this. Thank you for the yes. Thank you for the yes. People don't realize, family, you think that that's just you. You don't understand. You're in this tunnel because you live in a capitalistic society. If you're in the United States of America, this is about capitalism. This is more about money than people. It ignores emotional, spiritual, and community needs. I'm going to say it again. It ignores emotional, spiritual, and community needs. These are the effects of the reality tunnel. It don't care nothing about your need to be with family. We got jobs firing people for taking off to be with their families, firing people to take care of sick children. What kind of foolishness is that? We got to run a business. This is why some people are moving to Sweden. Some people are moving to the European countries. Do you realize there are many countries that now have a 4-day work week and you automatically get 6 weeks of vacation? And do you realize that some of these countries I just read recently, one country I think cut back to a 32-hour work week. I think it's like a 32-hour work week. And the statistic shows that their marriages are stronger, their families are stronger, and last but not least, their health is better. Do you know why marriages are stronger, families are stronger, and their health is better? Because there is stress that's generated with work, especially on certain jobs, dealing with politics in the workplace, and or you have to physically or mentally exert yourself. Am I making any sense to anybody? You can shout out now all you want to, but you live in this tunnel. And if you live in this tunnel, it's going to have an impact on you. I want to leave this truth with you before I give you the final quote. Being is as valuable as doing. I'm going to say it again. Being is as valuable as doing. What do I mean by that? You just existing is priceless. You as a spirit being who's living in an avatar body, you matter. There is no price tag that can be put on you. In other words, you're not earning to make yourself valuable and worthy. You are already worthy. I want you to type it in the comment section. I was born worthy. I was born worthy. Let that resonate, family. Let that resonate, family. I was born worthy. I was born worthy. And I leave you with this quote. You are not a machine. You are a garden. Rest is not a reward. It is a necessity. End quote. Trisha Hersey from the NAP Ministry. Head Almighty, I thank you for every soul who was on today and even those who are with me to the end. Help them to know and to embrace that we all live in reality tunnels. But we also have the ability and the power to change how these tunnels are shaped. Thank you, Lord, that we're worthy of this existence. We're worthy of success. We're worthy of love. We're worthy of prosperity. We're worthy of being one with God. We're worthy of living out our dreams, our hopes, our desires. Hallelujah. And I just want to thank you and praise you in this moment that we recognize that we have a reality tunnel. And in many cases, it's an unproductive way that we are viewing and living our lives. Thank you for the conviction, the strength, and the courage to change it. And I bless you Thank you, Yeshua. The name, the power, just is the way. It is so. And so it is. All right. I appreciate y'all so dearly. I want to give you an opportunity to donate today. Make sure you use the donation opportunities that you see on the screen. Now, tell me how y'all feeling. What do you think about the presentation today? What did you think about the presentation today? Did it make sense? Did it hit home? Could you identify with it? Tell me about it. Talk to me. Talk to me. Tell me about it. I want to hear your thoughts on the presentation today. From beginning to end. That's why we should, I want you to understand it's all right to come back and watch these videos multiple times so that the principles can be absorbed in a deeper way and are ready to be applied. Let's see here. Pamela says, needed. Thank you so much, Pamela. Infused with truth. Thank you so much. It definitely hit home. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Really appreciated the class. It hit home in multiple areas. Thank you. Hillary says she's going to watch it again. Thank you so much. And when you see these kinds of things, when you have these kinds of experiences, I should say, don't hesitate to share this video with people whom you think and know it's going to benefit. We talk about some things that's out of the spectrum, I know, of mainline religion, but these are principles that's going to bring about a great awakening in people. Thank you so much. Feeling empowered. This message really touched me. Definitely coming back to watch again. Awesome. And then great word. Thank you so much. Thank everybody for sharing your thoughts. $AG Green, $AG Green Enterprises. If you want to give by Zoom, Anthony G. Green in Hotmail. It's the Zelle, the way to get by Zelle. You can do that as well. I appreciate all of your gifts. Some of you, when you get paid, you give, or look up and there are random gifts, financial gifts from you. Nothing you give is wasted. I assure you of that. It's all put to a good use, right? And again, I thoroughly appreciate your support. Somebody said, great word and life-changing. Thank you. Now, what did I say was going to be dropping this week? It'll be Wednesday. What am I releasing this week? For those who've been on the whole time, what did I say at the beginning that I was going to release this week? And while you're thinking about that, if you ever have any suggestions on how I can make the streams and broadcasts better, don't hesitate to inbox me. I'm not thin-skinned. I appreciate your suggestions. Some things you might suggest, whatever, question and answer, live meetings, in person stuff, whatever. Just don't hesitate. Or subject matter you might want us to touch on, hit me up by inbox or email me, aggreenenterprises@gmail.com, and I'll always take your thoughts and suggestions into consideration. She said coffee mug. It's not the coffee mug. Don't forget the new blog article is dropping. It's number 4 on reality creation. Number 4. It'll be dropping this week. I didn't drop it last week purposely. I'm trying to give people more time to absorb the first 3. And I will be dropping a new one this week. I want you to check it out. And I also want you to share it with other people. Okay? All right, family, this is how you give. It's on the screen and at the bottom, scrolling ticker. I'm going to release you today with the shalom blessing. Shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, and prosperity. Nothing missing and nothing broken. I appreciate you. It is so, and so it is. Enjoy your day.